All right. This is the GLOOCH, and we are going to do trivia. So I'm going to wait a few minutes to get hopefully more people to join on, because I failed to post this video sooner. So I just did that, and that may alert some more people to come on. So let me give more potential trivia buffs a chance to log on before we get started, because we know that every question that is asked is worth 5 points, and it's precious. Each question is precious. So we give an opportunity for people to start from the beginning. And I hope you saw the advertisement that this is about Elijah and Elisha. Elijah and Elisha. So that's the theme for this evening. You know what the rules are, right? The rules are the honor system, and that means you have to be honest. And if you got the answer wrong, you don't get the 5 points. But if you get the answer right, you do get 5 points. So that's between you and God. We ask for you not to cheat, to give your brothers and sisters a chance to finish correctly what they earned, the amount of points that they earned. Because if you're cheating, they're working hard to get those points honestly. And if you're cheating, it just waters down the results. So we ask you to be honest. We ask you also to it's probably not wise to base your answer on what you think everybody else is answering, because the whole majority could be wrong. And so that might not be the best way to go about trying to get the answer. But guess. If you don't know, guess, because this is all multiple choice. The choices are A, B, C, and D. So even if you guess, you have a 25% chance of getting the right answer. So we already have the 20 questions prepared, and we will use those. And these 20 questions have already been set. We know what the answers are. So the way it's going to go is we're going to ask the question. You answer. We'll ask it a second time. And then on the third time, that's when we're going to give the answer. So we're going to move along pretty quickly. And we're going to get started at 10:30, if that's okay. 10:30 Eastern Standard Time, we will start. We have 35 people on right now. And I'm hoping to, in the next 5 minutes, get to at least 50 people to try to make this competitive. But even if there's 3 people here, we're going to go forward with this. So that gives Tiger, Monkey, Joey your best chance to finish in the top 10. One more thing is that, the GLOOCH will post your name in the community section tomorrow as an honor of your hard work through this trivia challenge and test. So if you really, really were vigilant and diligent, you would have taken the theme of Elijah and Elisha and did some reading today to familiarize yourself with the story. But if you know your Old Testament pretty good, then you got a decent chance. So we will see. I do know that it gets tricky. It could be tricky between if it was Elijah that did something or Elisha. So that's going to be one of the key things in trying to answer these questions is try to distinguish between Elijah and Elisha. Okay, I'll try to emphasize the S and the J for the two. Okay, and then of course at the end we do a TOL trivia question as a bonus. So you still have a chance to get an extra 5 points if you could get the TOL trivia question right, which was technically question number 21. All right. And we're looking at the potential perfect score as being 105. So 105 is pure perfection. And the worst score you could get, obviously, is 0. Anything, I would say, if you score 70 or higher, that's a big pat on the back. That's really good company. But again, this is based on grace, this challenge. This is not a situation where we're going to tease each other or put each other down. This is fun, and also to keep us interested in the scripture, and also to just appreciate God's word as we wait for his soon return. So, having said that, we are down to 2 minutes left. We got 44 people in here. It would be nice if we could get an even 50 or higher. But I guess a lot of people we're up to 46. It would be nice to have more people, a bigger field, if you will, to make it more competitive. But this is really Tiger Monkey's, Joey's chance to shine. He's probably hoping the numbers stay low. But I see Brother Jim Jackson's here. Nancy Anderson's here. Mary Ann. Jamie Walker. Ruth Miner. Daniel Shaver. It's good to see you, Daniel Shaver. I haven't seen you in a while. Away H. Clark. Karen Murdoch. Okay, we got 1 minute left. We got 47 participants. If people join in late, that's fine, but you will not have as much opportunity to get the full score. So let me get my questions ready. We jumped over 50, guys. Look at this. These people just are concerned about answering the questions. They don't want to hear the instructions and the information beforehand. Okay, here we go. We're almost at 10:30. Are you guys ready? Because once this gets going, you know it's intense. On your marks. Get set. Here we go. Again, this is the TOL. The TOL Bible Trivia Challenge. The theme this evening is Elijah and Elisha. Question number 1 for 5 points. Elijah was A, Nishbite, B, Fishbite, C, Tishbite, D, Kishbite. Elijah was A, Nishbite, B, Fishbite, C, Tishbite, D, Kishbite. So as you can tell, this is not your grandma's trivia questions. These are tough ones. So get your answers in, because the next time I say this, we're going to have the answer, and you can't get credit once the answer's said. So here we go. Elijah was A, Dishbite, B, Fishbite, C, Tishbite, D, Tishbite? The answer is Elijah was a C, Tishbite. Hey, you guys could certainly write the answers in. That counts too. I'm just trying to make it easier with A, B, C, and D. So are you guys off to a quick start? It seems like most of you are, which is really, really encouraging. We want to have fun here, but it's also nice to have fun and have a lot of points. Question number 2. Which king of Israel did Elijah warn about an imminent drought? Which king of Israel did Elijah warn about an imminent drought? A, Jehu, B, Omri, C, Ahab, D, Ahaziah, sorry. Which king of Israel did Elijah warn about an imminent drought? A, Jehu, B, Omri, C, Ahab, D, Ahaziah. Get your answers in, guys. This question is, I would say, not too hard, not too easy, moderate. So the kings again are Jehu, Omri, Ahab, Ahaziah. Okay, this is now for the answer. Which king of Israel did Elijah warn about an imminent drought? A, Jehu, B, Omri, C, Ahab, D, Ahaziah. The answer is C, Ahab. C, Ahab is the correct answer. So if you answered C, you get 5 points. In fact, we have 2 C's already. So if you answered C for 1 and C for 2, you got 10 points. Ahab is the answer for those who write in their answer. All right, I hope you guys have 10 points by now. If not, 5 would be good too. Okay, question number 3. What was the widow of Zarephath gathering when Elijah first met her? What was the widow of Zarephath gathering when Elijah first met her? A, hay, like what horses eat. B, eggs. C, water. D, sticks. What was the widow of Zarephath gathering when Elijah first met her? A, hay. B, eggs. C, water. D, sticks. So get your answers in, folks. What was that widow gathering? Hay, eggs, water, or wood, or sticks? All right. Get your answers in. All right, here we go. What was the widow, and guess if you don't know, there's nothing wrong with guessing. What was the widow of Zarephath gathering when Elijah first met her? A, hay. B, eggs. C, water. D, sticks. The answer is D, sticks. She was planning on cooking a cake of bread for her and her son before they were going to starve to death from the famine. So that's why she was collecting sticks to make a little fire. The answer is D. Tiger Monkey Joe, you're doing great. Doing great. Okay. We are now on question number 4. If you joined late, please join us and just count your points from wherever you began. Question number 4. How many times did Elijah stretch himself over the widow's dead son before he was revived? How many times did Elijah stretch himself over the widow's dead son before he was revived? A, once. B, twice. C, 3 times. D, 4 times. How many times did Elijah stretch himself over the widow's dead son before he was revived? A, once. B, twice. C, thrice. Or D, quatrice, if that's a word. We'll say it 4 times. Once, twice, 3 times, or 4 times. Get your answers in. This is the same son that the widow was preparing her last little bit of flour and oil for to cook a cake. Later on, the son died suddenly, and Elijah stretched himself over the widow's son, and he came back to life. How many times? A, 1, B, 2, C, 3, or D, 4? The answer is C, 3 times. C's been a popular answer tonight. 3 times, guys. If you answered A, B, or D, you got it wrong. If you answered C 3 times, you got it right. All right, let's go to 5. That'll get us to a quarter way through the challenge, and then we'll ask for your scores to see how you're doing a quarter of the way through. Question number 5. What did Elijah instruct Obadiah to go and tell Ahab? What did Elijah instruct Obadiah to go and tell Ahab? A, there would be a famine in Samaria. B, the king of Aram's army was advancing. C, to pull down the statues of Baal. D, that Elijah has been found, has been located. What did Elijah instruct Obadiah to go and tell Ahab? A, that there will be a famine in Samaria. B, the king of Aram's army was advancing. C, pull down all the statues of Baal. D, that Elijah, or himself, referring to himself, Elijah has been located and found. Get your answers in. This is a tough question. This is a very tough question, but I'm telling you right now, I can see some of you got it right. Jamie Walker says Obadiah was scared to tell the king. Yeah, but he did do it. I believe he did it. So here we go. Get your. If you're unsure, please guess. A, B, C, and D. If you guess E or beyond, sorry, you're not going to get it right. What did Elijah instruct Obadiah to go and tell Ahab? A, there would be a famine in Samaria. B, the king of Aram's army was advancing. C, to pull down all the statues of Baal, war. D, that Elijah was found or located. The answer is D, that Elijah was found or located. So Ahab was searching out for Elijah and couldn't find him. Elijah told Obadiah to go back to Ahab and said that you located me, that he's been found, Elijah's been found. So the answer is D. Okay, so if you'd like, you could post your score. If you're not interested in posting your score, you don't need to, but we're a quarter of the way done. The highest that you could have is 5 out of 5 or 25 points. I think at this point, if you got 3 or higher, you're doing pretty good. Okay, Gregory Russell's 4 for 5. Nicole View X, 5 for 5. Jim Jackson, 5 for 5. Away H, 20 points. Corn and Wine, 20 points. Jimmy Walker, 25 points. Nana Deborah, 4 out of 5. Watch Lady 66, 20 points. Ophelia, 4 out of 5. Bear, 2075, 25. Teresa, 4 out of 5. Ruth Manar, 5 out of 5. Wow, you guys are killing it tonight. These are tough questions. All right, onward we go. Question number 6, get ready now. Clear your head. Clear your head. Think Elijah and think Elisha. After Elijah mocked the prophets of Baal, what other ritual did the prophets try to gain Baal's attention? After Elijah mocked the prophets of Baal, what other ritual did the prophets try in order to gain Baal's attention? A. Dance around the altar. B. Cut themselves with knives. C. Sang hymns. D. Beat their chests with sticks. After Elijah mocked the prophets of Baal, what other ritual did these prophets do in order to try to gain Baal's attention? A. Dance around the altar. B. Cut themselves with knives. C. Sing hymns. D. Beat their chests with sticks. So remember, Elijah was mocking them because Baal wasn't burning up the sacrifice. So what did they do? What did these prophets of Baal do after Baal was not answering their prayers? A. This is going to be the answer now, so get your answers in, guys. After Elijah mocked the prophets of Baal, what other ritual did the prophets try to gain Baal's attention? A. Dance around the altar. B. Cut themselves with knives. C. Sang hymns. D. Beat their chest with sticks. And the answer is they started cutting themselves with knives. Pretty gross, huh? So they started cutting themselves. So the answer is B, cutting themselves with knives. Hope you guys got that one right. B choice says gross, absolutely. And you know what? After doing all that, Baal still didn't do anything because he's not real. We are on question number 7. So just to let you know, the first 10 questions is focused on Elijah, and the last 10 will be focused on Elisha. Question number 7. What did Elijah's servant see from Mount Carmel on the 7th time he looked out to sea? A, a cloud. B, an angel. C, an island. D, a boat. What did Elijah's servant see from Mount Carmel on the 7th time he looked out to sea? A, a cloud. B, an angel. C, an island. D, a boat. Now, guys, this is not a tough question. This is not a tough one. Again, if you don't know the answer, then it is tough. They're all tough if you don't know the answer. So what did Elijah's servant see the 7th time he looked out at the sea? Now keep in mind, Elijah was praying for something. Was it A, a cloud? Was it B, an angel? Was it C, an island? Or was it D, a boat? The scripture describes it as the size of a man's fist or hand. Give you a little bit of a clue there. How ironic, Bale Buster 2 doesn't know the answer to this. Right, what did Elijah's servant see from Mount Carmel on the seventh time he looked out to sea? A, a cloud, B, an angel, C, an island, or D, a boat? The answer is a cloud. Elijah was praying for rain. And the seventh time he sent his servant, he saw a cloud about the size of a man's hand. So there's your 5 points, guys. But wait, H says groovy gloochy. I got 30 points. Awesome. Good job. Sushi Snakes at 10 points. Nothing to be ashamed about there. Even if you got a goose egg, this is about having fun. All right, let's go to number 8. After the prophets of Baal were killed, to where did Elijah run to escape the death threat from Jezebel? After the prophets of Baal were killed, to where did Elijah run to escape the death threat from Jezebel? A, Hebron, B, Megiddo, C, Shiloh, D, Beersheba. After the prophets of Baal were killed, to where did Elijah run to escape the death threat from Jezebel? A, Hebron, B, Megiddo, C, Shiloh, D, Beersheba. So if you say under the juniper tree, we're looking at the town, and we're not looking specifically at what he was under, but rather, what town did he go to? Got some varied answers here. I think this is a tough one for you guys. So those who have a perfect score, will you be able to get this tough question right? The other thing we ask you not to do here is Google it. That's against the rules. Do not Google to get the right answer. That's cheating, okay? All right, here we go with the right answer. After the prophets of Baal were killed, to where did Elijah run to escape the death threat from Jezebel? A, Hebron, B, Megiddo, C, Shiloh, D, Beersheba. The answer is D, Beersheba. D, Beersheba is where he went. And yes, he went under the juniper tree, but the juniper tree was in Beersheba. Okay, I think, man, yeah, I know, you guys, that was a tough one. Jamie Walker went, phew. So you must have guessed a little bit, maybe. All right, some people got it, some people didn't get it. Not bad. Not bad. That was one of the tougher ones. Okay. Actually, there's still a few tough ones left for sure. Question number 9 here. Working our way through the halfway point. Uh-oh. This is a tough one. What accident did Ahaziah suffer, causing him to seek consultation with Baal-zebub? What accident did Ahaziah suffer, causing him to seek consultation with Baal-zebub? A, he slipped on the palace steps. B, he tripped over a plowshare. C, he fell from his roof. D, thrown from his chariot. So Ahaziah got injured. And instead of consulting with Elijah, he tried to consult with Beelzebub. How did he get injured? A, he slipped on the palace steps. B, he tripped over a plowshare. C, he fell from his roof. And D, was thrown from his chariot. How did he get hurt? How did he get injured? It's a tough one. There's no question about it. This is a tough question. But like I said, this is not your grandmother's Bible trivia challenge. This is like hardcore Watchmen waiting for the rapture any second Bible trivia. All right, here we go, guys. Kevin Douglas says, I'm late again. That's okay, Kevin. Jump on. Plenty of room in this bandwagon. What accident did Ahaziah suffer, causing him to seek consultation with Beelzebub? A, slipped on a palace steps. B, tripped over a plowshare. C, fell from his roof. D, thrown from his chariot. The answer is... Kevin Douglas, I'll repeat the question one more time for you. What accident did Ahaziah suffer, causing him to seek consultation with Beelzebub? A, slipped from the palace steps. B, tripped over a plowshare. C, fell from his roof. D, thrown from his chariot. We just give Kevin a chance to answer. All right, Kevin. Kevin got his answer locked in at C. And guess what, Kevin? You are correct. The answer is C, fell from his roof. And I think he fell through the lattice. Not the lettuce, the lattice. So if you answered C, fell from his roof, you are correct. Jimmy Walker says, I read 2 Kings to brush up on Elisha. Jimmy Walker, that's what it's about, guy. That's what it's about, friend, because what I want to do is let people know what the theme is so that they go into this word and read up on the theme. Okay. Jim Jackson's doing really well. Okay, this is going to bring us to the halfway point, and I think this is the last Elijah question. And this one is pretty good. This should be, I don't want to call it a layup, but let's say this is a shot inside the paint. Question number 10. What of Elijah's was left behind after he was taken away from Elisha by the whirlwind? A, a bag. Maybe a Gucci bag. B, a cloak. C, a staff. Or D, sandals. What of Elijah's was left behind after he was taken away in that flaming chariot taken away from Elisha by the whirlwind? What did he leave behind? A bag, A. B, a cloak. C, a staff, or a mantle. Cloak and mantle are the same thing. C is a staff. D are sandals. This was one of the easier questions, so I'm hoping that I hope all of you guys get this one right. What of Elijah's was left behind after he was taken away from Elisha by a whirlwind? A, Gucci bag. B, cloak. C, staff. D, sandals. The answer is... Ray Jr. says, I need to read up on kings. We all do. Great couple of books, though. The answer is B, mantle or cloak. Mantle or cloak is correct. All right, guys, what is your score? We are halfway through. The highest you could have right now is 10 out of 10 or 50 points. Nancy Anderson's at 45. Gregory Russell's at 35. Rachel G's 40 out of 50. Jim Jackson's 9 out of 10. Karen Murdoch's 45 out of 50. Marie Salagumba's a perfect 50. Ruth Manar, 45 out of 50. Bear 2075, 8 out of 10. Jamie Walker, 45. Corn and Wine, 40. Watch Lady 66, 40. Dustin Royal, 1 out of 10 with an exclamation point. Debbie B, 777, 20 with an UG. Kathy Owalt, 25. Nana Deborah, 35. Yolanda White, 10. Jesse Nolan, 45. Tiger Monkey Joey, 40. Wow, you're killing it today. Ophelia, 40. Baal Buster, 4 out of 7. And Kevin Douglas is a perfect 2 out of 2. All right. This is where we focus on Elisha, okay? Here we go. Are you ready for the second half? Question number 11. What taunt did the small boys at Bethel say to Elisha? A, you're so ugly, you're so ugly. B, go up, bald head, go up, bald head. C, you're old and wrinkled just like a raisin. D, go away, fat man, go away. I'll give you a little clue here. It's something that Brother Chooch has been taunted with. What taunt did the small boys at Bethel say to him? You're so ugly is A. B, go up, bald head, go up, bald head. C, you're old and wrinkled just like a raisin. D, go away, fat man, go away. Seems like you guys are pretty familiar with this taunt. So I think it comes down to, because if he's being called a bald head, then that means he had a chrome dome, right? So if Elisha did not have a chrome dome, that taunt would make sense. How old was Elisha? Would he be taunted as old and wrinkled as a raisin? It's a good question. I'm not sure. Now, he used to work with yoke of oxen. Would that make him overweight, or would he be in good shape? All right, so here we go. 11. What taunt did the small boys at Bethel say to him? A, you're so ugly, you're so ugly. B, go up, bald head, go up, bald head. C, you're old and wrinkled just like a raisin. D, go away, fat man, go away. Jesse Nolan has the answer correct. He said so eloquently, Elisha is an honorary Chrome Dome Shalom member. Thank you, Jesse. Yes, he is. He is one of our forefathers of Chrome Domeness. He is the Chrome Dome prophet. He was told by those kids, go on up, bald head. Go on up, bald head. And then Elisha called a curse down on them, and I believe it was 2 she-bears came out and took care of those ones who were taunting him. Go up, bald head. All right, why don't you say, go on, bald head, to question number 12. Go on, bald head, gooch. Go on, bald head, gooch. Go to question number 12. Okay, I hear you. Question number 12. What did the Shunammite, this is not Shulamite, what did the Shunammite woman ask her husband to do for Elisha? A, make a small room on the roof so that he could stay with them whenever he was there. B, prepare a stew of poisonous gourds for him to eat. C, send him to ask for prayer when her son had a head pain or headache. D, ask him to speak to the king concerning the return of Elisha's property when they returned from Philistina. What did the Shunammite woman ask her husband to do for Elisha? A, make a small room on the roof so that he could stay with them when he travels. B, prepare stew of poisonous gourds for him to eat. C, send him to ask for prayer when her son gets head pain. D, ask him to speak to the king concerning the return of Elisha's property when they returned from Philistia. So this Shunammite woman was asking her husband to do something in regards to Elisha. What was it? What was it? Was it make a small room on the roof so when he travels to stay there? Was it to make a special stew with poisonous gourds for him to eat? That would be kind of mean. To send him to ask for prayer when her son had a headache? And D, ask him to speak for the kings concerning the return of Elisha's property. Get your answer in. 12. What did the Shunammite woman ask her husband to do for Elisha? A, make a small room on the roof as the answer, so that he could stay with them whenever he went there. The answer is A, making a small room on the roof. Make a little traveling prophet quarters for Elisha. That's nice, right? I wonder if the Shunammite woman's house, when that got reevaluated after they put in that small room, if she had to pay more taxes or not. All right, we're at question number 13. What happened to the king's officer who mocked Elisha when he prophesied concerning Samaria? What happened to the king's officer who mocked Elisha when he prophesied concerning Samaria? A, bears mauled him. B, his axe had floated away down the river. C, he got leprosy immediately. D, the people trampled him to death. What happened to the king's officer who mocked Elisha when he prophesied concerning Samaria? A, bears mauled him. B, axe had floated down the river. C, he got leprosy immediately. D, the people trampled him to death. I think that this is a tough question. This is a really tough question. A, B, or C, or D? What happened to the king's officer who mocked Elisha when he prophesied concerning Samaria? Listen closely. A, bears mauled him. B, his axe had floated down the river. C, who keeps asking for Mini Chooch? Mini Chooch is sleeping. C, he got, oh, you're talking about the doll Mini Chooch? Let's see. I thought I had him. There he is. This is not Mini GLOOCH, this is Mini Chooch. Okay, you want to hang out with me a little bit? All right. All right, let's get this answer in. This is going to be the answer time now. What happened to the king's officer who mocked Elisha when he prophesied concerning Samaria? A, bears mauled him. B, the axe had floated down the river. C, he got leprosy immediately. D, the people trampled him to death. The answer is D. The people trampled him to death. He got trampled to death. Ophelia got it right. That's great. Now, somebody said that they saw the dot blink. That would freak me out if that happened. So, it's D. The people trampled him to death. What a way to die, huh? A lot of people guess C for some reason. Now remember, the bears mauled the boys that were teasing him. All right, let's go to the next one. We're at 14. What happened when some men threw a corpse into Elisha's tomb? What happened when some men threw a corpse into Elisha's tomb? A, the corpse came back to life. B, Elisha and the corpse both came back to life. C, the tomb filled with water, although no rain fell. D, the king had the men beheaded. What happened when some men threw a corpse into Elisha's tomb? A, the corpse came back to life. B, Elisha and the corpse both came back to life. C, the tomb filled with water, although there was no rain. Or D, the king had the men beheaded. Do you know the answer, baby Chooch? Or mini Chooch? You do? Can you whisper it to me? Okay. Okay. So, what happened when some men threw a corpse into Elijah's tomb? A, the corpse came back to life. Is that right? Is that the right answer, Mini Chooch? No? Okay. Is it B, Elijah? Wait a second. What happened when some men threw a corpse into Elijah's tomb? A, the corpse came back to life? That's right. That's right. I thought you shook your head no. It's A, right? Is it A? It's A. Okay. I think you're a little bit loopy. You're tired. Go to bed. So that's the answer is A. The answer is A. The corpse came back to life, not Elisha and the corpse, just the corpse. All right, we are now on number 15. This is a tough one. For which city did Elisha cleanse its waters by throwing a bowl of salt into the spring? For which city did Elisha cleanse its waters by throwing a bowl of salt into the spring? A, Gilgal. B, Bethel. C, Shunem. D, Jericho. For which city did Elisha cleanse its waters by throwing a bowl of salt into the spring? A, at Gilgal. B, at Bethel. C, at Shunem. And D, at Jericho. For which city did Elisha cleanse its waters by throwing a bowl of salt into the spring? A, Gilgal. B, Bethel. C, Shunem. D, Jericho. The answer is, get your answers in. There's still a bunch of answers coming in. This is This may be one of the hardest questions of the night. Certainly in the top 3, I think. A lot of people are getting it wrong, unfortunately. Yeah, that's the danger, Kevin, of following the masses here. If you follow the masses, you're going to get this one wrong. All right, let's do it. For which city did Elisha cleanse its waters by throwing a bowl of salt in the spring? A, Gilgal, B, Bethel, C, Shunem, or D, Jericho? The answer is D, Jericho. The answer is D, Jericho. We are now 3/4 of the way done. The highest score that you could possibly have at this time is 75 points. If you got more than 75 points, you added incorrectly. At this point, if you got 50 points or higher, you're doing really well, I would say. So let's see here. Await HS 55 points. Kathy Walt 35. Nicole Herbucks 11 out of 15. Jim Jackson 13 out of 15. Jimmy Walker missed 3 so far. Gregory Russell's at 55. Karen Murdoch's at 60. Nancy Deborah's at 50. Nancy Anderson's at 60. Watch Lady 66 is at 60. Baal Buster's at 25. Rachel's at 45. Ophelia's at 60. Ray Jr. simply says, I'm at the bottom. Jesse Nolan says 60. Corn and Wine says 55. Yolanda White, 25. Ruth Manar, 65. Tiger Monkey Joey's at 45. Debbie B777 at 45. Bear 2075's at 60. Okay, let's go to our last quarter of questions, starting at question 16. How many lepers that were sitting outside the city gates of Samaria went down to the deserted camp of Aram? A, 1, B, 2, C, 3, D, 4. How many lepers that were sitting outside the city gates of Samaria went down to the deserted camp of Aram? A, 1 leper. B, 2 lepers. C, 3 lepers. D, 4 lepers. All right. So it's just a question of how many lepers. Now remember, they found the camp abandoned and they saw all this food and provision. And they planned on telling everybody about it and not keep this to themselves. How many lepers that were sitting outside the city gates of Samaria went down to the deserted camp of Aram? A, 1, B, 2, C, 3, or D, 4? The answer is D, 4. There were 4 lepers. 4 lepers. So it's D, not 3. A lot of people said C, 3, but it's actually 4. Tiger Joey, I saw you answered that correctly. That was a good answer. Good job. All right, we are on question number 17. What did Elisha send with Gehazi? Gehazi was Elisha's servant. What did Elisha send with Gehazi to place on the Shunammite's dead son? What did Elisha send with Gehazi to place on the Shunammite's dead son? Was it A, a staff? Was it B, a myrrh? Was it C, a gold coin? Was it D, part of his garment? What did Elisha send with Gehazi to place on the Shunammite's dead son? A staff. B, myrrh. C, a gold coin. D, part of his garment. All right. Seems like a majority of you guys got it right, but I'm starting to see some wrong answers come in. All right. What did Elisha send with Gehazi to place on the Shunammite's dead son? A, staff. B, myrrh. C, gold coin. D, part of his garment. The answer is a staff. A staff. Kevin Douglas got it right. Nana Deborah got it right. Ophelia got it right. Glad to see you back, Jamie. We're about to go on question number 18. What did Elisha send with Gehazi to place on the Shunammite's dead son? It was a staff. A. A. Yeah, Tiger Monkey Joey said gold coin. Yeah. Jamie Walker says Gehazi turned out to be greedy. Yeah, that was his downfall. All right, we're on question 18. We are getting close to the end. Question number 18. What did Elisha throw in the poison stew to make it edible? A, salt. B, milk. C, flour. D, bark, like bark from a tree. What did Elisha throw in the poison stew to make it edible? A, salt. B, milk. C, flour. Or D, bark. Remember the men screamed out, "There's death in this pot." And Elijah came, he put something in it, and it became edible. Don't be afraid to guess. What did he put in there to make it edible? Obviously, this was a miracle. This was a miracle. What did Elisha throw in the poisoned stew to make it edible? A, salt. B, milk. D, meal or flour. Or D, bark. Tim Jackson says, sounds like my cooking. Okay. The answer is C, flour. Or meal. Either one's correct. So it's not milk, guys. Sorry. It's flour. Good job, Nancy. Nancy Anderson got that right. Very good job. All right, so we have 19 and 20, and then we have a bonus question. Question number 19. If you made it this far, you guys have endurance. Good for you. Question number 19. What did Elisha throw into the river to cause the axe head to float? What did Elisha throw into the river to cause the axe head to float to the top of the water? A, a piece of bread. B, his cloak. C, a rock. D, a wooden stick. What did Elisha throw into the river to cause the axe head to float to the top? A, a piece of bread. B, his cloak. C, a rock. Or D, a wooden stick. This, again, was one of his miracles. I hope you get this one right. This one's tricky. Okay, here's the answer. What did Elisha throw into the river to cause the axe head to float? A, piece of bread. B, his cloak. C, a rock. Or D, a wooden stick? The answer is a lovely wooden stick. A wooden stick. And the axe head, probably made of iron, floated to the top. Okay, we are actually at question number 20, and then we'll do our bonus TOL question. During the time of Elisha's sickness, what did he tell Joash to take hold of? A, 17 fish. B, bow and arrows. C, the writings of King David. D, a cup of milk. During the time of Elisha's sickness, what did he tell Joash to take hold of? A, 17 fish. B, bow and arrows. C, the writings of David. Or D, a cup of milk. Get your answers in. This is the last Bible trivia question. All right, guys. Here we go. During the time of Elisha's sickness, what did he tell Joash to take a hold of? A, 17 fish. B, bow and arrows. C, writings of David. D, a cup of milk. The answer is bows and arrows. B, bows and arrows. Very good. So that's the end of that. Now here comes the bonus question. It doesn't have to do with the Bible, but it has to do with basically the storyline that TOL's been doing from the very beginning, such as talking about the board, talking about different stories and creatures and events that TOL likes to talk about in the community section of our channel. So the question is this. Recently, T-Bone, the raptor orangutan, had his last name changed by a vote. What was his last name changed to? So recently, T-Bone isosceles had his last name changed by a vote. What was his last name changed to? Was it Smith? Was it Tiramisu? Was it Zamboni? Or was it, I forget what was the fourth one? I forgot what the fourth option was. So let's just keep it to 3, okay? Recently, T-Bone isosceles had his last name changed. It used to be Varicose, but it got changed from Varicose to what? Was it changed to either Tiramisu, Zamboni? I'm getting tired. What was the third choice? I don't remember my own nonsense. Tiramisu, Zamboni or Smith. I'm not going to do A, B, and C. Just write in the answer. His name was Varicose. T-Bone Isosceles Varicose. His name got changed to T-Bone Isosceles Smith, or was it T-Bone Isosceles Tiramisu, or T-Bone Isosceles Zamboni? And the answer is Zamboni. Zamboni. Okay, so if you got that right, add 5 points to your final score. Now, this is the very important part, because when I make the list for tomorrow, I go back into the live chat and I see what the high scores are. So if you don't write your high score, if you don't write your score, you're not going to make it on the list. So this is your opportunity now to put your score down. And if it wasn't a high score, it's still display it proudly, because if you played this game, everyone who played this game is a winner, because you learned something new about the Bible. All right. So Await H had 80, and Sushi had 50, and Ruth had, what did Ruth have? Ruth Minar had 80. Mary Saragumba has 90. Kathy Walt has 40. Karen Murdoch has 85. Baal Buster 35. Nicole had 70. Julie had 55. Nancy Anderson at 85. Jason Grayus had 5,015 points. How did you get that many points? Debbie B had 655. Ophelia had 75. Rachel G had 45. Watch Lady 66 had 70. Kevin had 30, but he came in very late. Jamie Lynn had 25. Tiger Monkey Joey had 60. Good job, Tiger Monkey. And that's all I have posted so far. So good job, guys. It was fun. I'm glad that we kept it to about an hour, which is good. So we're moving these a little bit quicker. We'll do another trivia game soon. Again, you could post your score in the last minute or two here. I hope you learned a little bit more about Elijah and Elisha this evening. And thank you for participating. And it's been an honor for me to be able to host this. This is really fun, and I really enjoy doing it. So I hope next time, in maybe a couple days from now, maybe Thursday night or so. Tonight's Monday. So about Thursday night, maybe we'll do another one. I'll let you know what the theme is so you could read ahead of time. And hopefully we'll be raptured before the next trivia. And then when you get to heaven, you'll know all these trivia questions by heart. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so I hope to see you in the clouds. God bless. Bye-bye.